Hello, everybody. We're talking from ESE from Budapest, and today we meet with the Allen, and you know this guy from the internet. You're very familiar with him because I know that you love it. What he's talking about the endodontics, and today we're going to talk what the new happens in this field because the big changes coming soon, and also. As I see from the program, we have a lot of presentation about the vital pulp therapy. Now people moving from the rotary to the vitality, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as I always say, the best root canal filling is the pulp.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to try to see if possible to avoid these prosthetic replacements of the pulp with gutta percha and sealers. And even though current sealers are very biocompatible and very good, there's probably nothing as good as Mother Nature, so we should try to see if we can keep the pulp vital, and that really should be the goal of endodontics as a whole.
Yeah. So what do you think about the material? What is the future of this?
So vital pulp therapy, we have now a better understanding of the science of what happens from a pulp biology point of view. So in terms of, previously we used to think that when you have pulpitis, irreversible pulpitis, it occurs everywhere in the pulp and the whole pulp dies at once. But now we understand that it's more like decay, where you have different zones of inflammation. And if we're able to get rid of the infectious parts and remove the inflammation, we actually reach normal pulp. And in the recent few years, with the advent of more biocompatible materials, we are now able to put a layer of a very biocompatible calcium silicate cement and for example, bioceramic, BC sealer, something like that, or BC putty, and that will give you a biocompatible layer to interface the cells, and then you just have to come up with another layer of a material on top of that that you can then restore, because the bioceramics take a little while to set, and some of the companies that have tried to put in resins into it so that they could have a light cure bioceramic, then you lose the properties of the bioceramic because the resin will get it encased. So that's why I kind of had talked about this lit technique of having this two different materials so you can get the most biocompatibility as well as a layer on top of it that allows you then to interface with your restorative material. So this is now possible because of the material science and a better understanding of the pulp biology and what is going on.
Everybody knows that you have that you practice in Boston, right?
Yes.
So if we compare the previous years, if we back, for example, 2 or 3 years back, and today, how many cases in percentage you starting doing with the vital pulp therapy cases? I mean.
So that is a very good question. Part of the problem currently in the U.S. is that while the theory behind pulp biology is gaining ground, there still is there's a knowledge gap with our referring dentists and people that we really need to explain things to, as well as, in terms of some of the insurances that compensate with this stuff right now too, they're creating a disincentive because vital pulp therapy requires a good amount of time. Plus, you walk in there and you don't know if you're going to do vital pulp therapy or it's going to end up being a full root canal therapy. So in terms of time management, it has a challenge, and we need to kind of figure this out in terms of compensation. So there is there's not a very large volume right now. I probably would say I'd probably do just a handful or so, probably in a month. But that's not really a good idea. I would love to move more into a place where we can have adequate compensation to do this procedure more often, because if you just do vital pulp therapy, it's not going to be a sustainable model for most practices. So we need to kind of figure out a way so you can incentivize people to do more vital pulp therapy rather than full prosthetic replacement with root canal therapy.
Yeah,
and that's what's lacking.
Perfect. So I'm happy with this, and actually I have one more question. So if we compare the European Endodontic Society and AE, it's like American style. We know that we have different types of procedure in this field, but what we found from the recent guidelines from AE, you only accept like a full pulpotomy. There is only one. It means it's covered by the by the companies? I mean, under protection for the patients, or what's happened? Why the American Association just accept only one treatment planning for that?
Well, part of the problem is just because of the transition from restorative dentistry and operative dentistry into endodontics. The question becomes, what is the role of the endodontist, and whether restorative dentists should be doing the earlier parts of vital pulp therapy, such as direct and indirect pulp caps, and then endodontists should get involved when it's a little much farther down the line. So that is something that I think is the AAE's position right now, but it is something that I think at the level of individuals, the endodontists and restorative dentists and the patients can, in this triangle, can figure out something in which the patient benefits the most. So that is, I think, a function of just a little bit of management and people putting their minds together. There is a process going on. I've recently been very active on the AAE Connection forum talking about this very topic with Drs. Lemon and Bogan and so on. And so that there is a lot of, there's some things to be ironed out, but I'm sure in time we're going to figure this out and there's going to be a solution so that people can save more pulps. How about that?
Okay, thank you so much for this beautiful conversation, and I hope our Ukrainian dentists enjoying this conversation and takes a message from this. So I'm appreciated that I have you here, and I wish you good luck.
Absolutely. And to our Ukrainian colleagues, I want to also wish you guys the best, and I hope that we'll see you at the next AAE or the ESC meeting, either in Helsinki or in Chicago. Hope everything goes well for you.
Bye.